Hi, welcome to Wealth Revolution Group. Today, WR is actually part of Jaybird Group, and today we invite Austin Tuan here from the head of architect in Vitas, and he's going to discuss and answer some questions about architecture, how we actually uh, can help the clients to achieve their goals. So, hi, welcome, Austin.
Hi, Jonathan.
Hi,
Hi,
and
everyone.
hi,
Hi.
and we're honored to have you here.
Thank you.
And can you introduce about how what we just do and how you can help our clients?
All right. Thank you very much for having me
Mhm.
here today.
Mhm.
I'm very glad to be able to tell you a little bit about ourselves.
Mhm.
Um, VTAS is an architectural um, consultancy firm. So we um, basically deal with all sorts of projects and we provide architectural advice to our clients. Now, I think the question was um, what architects do, and I think the architects play many roles in a building project. So I think the common perception of what architects do, especially in a domestic project sense, people tend to think that we draw drawings
Mhm.
and produce plans, and that's all we do. And I think that in small part
Mhm.
that's true,
Yeah.
but that's only a very small part of what we do.
Mhm.
Architects essentially are problem solvers, so
Mhm.
they solve problems.
Yes.
So problems comes in many different forms.
Yeah.
So if we, I think the simplest way for me to put this into perspective is describe how we can assist our clients
Yeah.
from the beginning of the project right to the end.
Um, Sorry to interrupt, but that's a lot of clients that come always have the perception that architects only can do drawings and that's about it. But most of the people they don't understand that the architects will need to deal with council people, will need to deal with builders, they will need to deal with surveyors. Can you explain a little bit more how you handling the situation? As you mentioned, you're problem solvers, and we want our audience to understand, um, you know, what architects do in a better way.
So I guess I have to add a little bit more detail about this comment. A good architect solves their problems gracefully.
Mm.
Right? So um, you want to be able to resolve issues, resolve problems in a holistic way, and that's what a good architect does. So that's a matter of design, concepts, planning, dealing with authorities, dealing with different consultants on the project. Um, so you mentioned correctly that we do have to deal with a lot of um, people that's
Yeah.
involved in the project.
Mm.
Now, I think a good architect is also a very good communicator.
Mm.
So, as you said, there are many people involved, client included. Now, the architect has to be able to communicate effectively in the whole team
Right.
and make everyone in the team understand what are the expectations, what
Yeah.
are the outcomes.
Yeah.
For example, dealing with council,
Mhm.
you need to be able to present a compelling case
Mhm.
of a good design. Um, may not necessarily simply just a compliant
Mm.
tick the box design.
Yeah.
Sometimes a good design may mean going outside the box a little bit,
Yeah.
but give you great results.
Mm.
Now, if the architect's a good problem solver and a good communicator,
Mm.
he's able to speak, to convey the idea to council and authorities that it is a good project, has a strong basis for their support, and eventually gets council support,
Yeah.
certifier support,
Yeah.
consultant support, most importantly, client support.
Yes.
Because client ultimately takes the risk on a building project. They, in anything you do, you take risk, but in a building project, of course, there's the value of the project is quite high for most people. You know, by any standard, you could be talking hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars. You know, depending on project size, but they're not small sums.
Yeah.
So the architect has to be a very good communicator, be able to express all the constraints and opportunities on the project, be able to work with the client, work with other consultants, work with the authorities to deliver a good project. And most importantly, solve the problems gracefully during this whole time.
See, regarding to the council, that council is always they are the rule setters and they always stop the rules, and a lot of times because every project is unique, so it doesn't mean that all the rules can be fit into one. So got the impression that so a lot of people they always heard that projects ended up in courts with councils. But however, that for audiences, that ended up in court is a very common thing, and people shouldn't, or people as a developer, or you thinking to become a developer, or you small size ones, shouldn't be scared of fighting with council in court. So that I guess that can you explain a little bit why we may ended up in court with councils?
So, like you said, each site is unique, and sometimes ticking the box based on what the council controls and standard controls are may not give you the result that you want. In fact, if you simply just complied, it's probably not a very worthwhile project.
Yep.
So, a good architect should be able to look at the problem and look at what the opportunities are and try to work with the constraints and at the same time try to work out a solution that pushes the boundary to give you the best result. Now, the good architect would be able to identify risks that are high risks or low risk items. Now, depending on the client and his appetite for the end result and what he wants to achieve, the architect has to be a good communicator through this whole process and try to provide a solution that I would say is very well planned and very well structured in terms of the reasoning behind the design, so that the architect and the team can be confident in advising the client to say that, well, we can win this. Of course, as you know, courts, there's no guarantee, but if you build a very good case and limit your issues to one, maybe two, that's how I always advise my clients. You don't want to fight
too many
wars on a court case. Now, if you can limit it to that one or two issues, then it's actually the success rate is very high. I mean, we have a very high success rate. We, out of 10 court cases we've done in the past 5 years, we've only lost one. But that's even with the support of the council's planners. But anyway, there are details on that project that's quite complex, but that's what I mean. I mean, if you build a good case, then you should have a high success rate.
Yeah. So that as we actually gonna build a series of architecture programs, and for later stage we may actually discuss about this project, why this is happening. So that I think that this time is a very good introduction of VTAS as a member of JBERG, and I think we will continuously supporting our clients. And if you do have any questions, feel free to contact us. And if you wish to discuss your particular project, please do not hesitate to contact us with the details below. And thanks again for your attention, and we will see you soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
All right.
Jonathan.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, everyone.
Thank you. All right.